Welcome, relatives, to RedCan 2020, our virtual edition. We are just a little bit behind due to some technical issues, but we're waiting for our Facebook friends and family to log in so we can get started here. We're going to have a quick introduction, and then we are going to move into some great art experience with First People's Fund artist and instructor Wade Patton. He's going to be doing oil pastel work with our youth here at the center, but you can follow along at home. Wade Patton is a friend of mine and an amazing artist, well known in our community. I believe he is the recipient of a winner of an award at Santa Fe Indian Art Market just last year. So I just want to check in with everybody and see where everybody's coming from. Love to hear from you and hear where you are located. So pop that down in the comments. We want to see where everyone's checking in from. Our First Nations relatives, our Native relatives here in the Midwest and all over the U.S. Where are you located and where are you checking in from? We are so glad to bring this to you. This experience, RedCan, has been one that has been going on for 6 years now. This is our 6th year. I have been a part of this since the very first one in 2015. I first participated as an artist, and now I'm here helping coordinate this amazing magical event. And this is a special year because this is the year that we are going to be bringing it to all the communities, all of our indigenous communities throughout the country. And we're just so thrilled to share this thing that we've had, this incredible experience with all of you. This is something that, has received national attention and awards for the amazing artwork that is created that celebrates our Native communities, particularly here in Eagle Butte, South Dakota, on the Cheyenne River Sioux Tribal Reservation. And this is an initiative of Cheyenne River Youth Project. Our executive director, Julie Garrow, is someone, a mentor of mine, who connected with the regional graffiti arts community and envisioned something beautiful for her youth here at the youth center here in Eagle Butte. And so now she has created this amazing platform for both native and non-native artists that have come here from across the country to create murals that uplift and focus on our Lakota culture here in the Midwest. And so with that, I'd like to give a big shout out to Santee Witt for his work and the music that was provided. And I am going to get ready here. I'm seeing if I'm getting a message. I believe we're going to be going next to a mini documentary featuring 2019's RedCan event. We have created one of these short documentary films to try and harness some of the magic that is this incredible experience here and share that with everybody. This year it's coming to your city. It's coming to 8 cities across the nation, from Seattle, Denver, Minneapolis, Kansas City, Pine Ridge. We've got artists all over the place that are going to be contributing this, and we're going to be calling out for you to contribute and share your artwork and your dance and your music with this incredible indigenous movement that is based in art. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over, and we are going to show the 2019 RedCan mini documentary now. Thank you for your time, and we will see you soon. Tune in here and get ready for an amazing little mini documentary. Toksha.
It's heart-driven work. We do it because we love our community, and that's what RedCan is. It's a gift to our people, to our community, to our children, to ourselves.
It's art done by professionals, by youth, by people who just want to express themselves and make Eagle Butte a better place.
I feel it in my heart, like this is the best, this is the dream, this is what I imagined, and we've arrived. That's how I feel.
RedCan is the practice that a lot of people hold in theory. It's not a textbook, it is a lived experience.
It creates a constant reminder for people to think about who they are, to think about where they come from and where they're going.
Being able to paint and express yourself is something that's important for your mental health, your physical health, to stay healthy.
It gives them a voice, man. I just think it helps them to feel encouraged, to feel acknowledged, to feel accepted in their own land. It just re-acknowledges them as people, as humans.
Art is power because it's an expression, and you're voicing your opinion and you're voicing your ideas. It's a voice that gives the silent a voice, and it gives the small people a voice, big people a voice, to represent who we are. It kind of takes your place back. Call that land your own again.
Take a walk in the park.
I never would have picked up a spray can, ever. You know, I didn't know that I could do that. I didn't even cross my mind that I could do that. I didn't know what it could look like.
What I see is not only inspiring, but also more so empowering. Because I see other individuals like myself out there doing amazing things, and even more so, I know that each one of these kids has that potential.
If I had known this opportunity, or I had known this about myself when I was younger, where could I be at now? I'm excited about where it can take me.
Take a walk in the park. Wondering if there's more.
It's empowering because they see that it's possible. More than that, we give them a direction and the magnitude, the support, and really that's the most important thing, is that we're all a part of this hoop, a part of this circle, and every one of us is helping it move forward.
Working in a different cultural environment, trying to create things that create a positive message that adhere to the community, it helps us to grow and understand something different. It makes me think a little bit differently about my artwork and even just who I am as a person.
We have kids out there who are not afraid to paint something next to those big artists who do such amazing pieces. We have fearless kids out there slapping something on a canvas right next to them. To see so many kids out there not afraid to try, that's a big thing for us. That's a big thing for anybody.
I want safe spaces for kids, and I want them to grow and learn and imagine what they want to be and then become it.
To be exposed to this at such a young age, if this is part of what their journey is supposed to be, and for them to be able to have access to that at a much younger age is amazing.
art and graffiti in particular, it evolved from written language. And even though Lakota and a lot of indigenous languages aren't written, we're seeing something kind of happening where we have a younger generation of people that resonate with art, they resonate with imagery, and being able to incorporate the Lakota language into a lot of the pieces in the murals creates a sense of pride in a way that relates to them and allows them to be able to embrace it and think a little bit more about it.
Part of the tradition of Lakota people and many other indigenous cultures to adorn your clothing and your homes with designs that tell stories and tell part of that history. And to me, this is a continuation of like a teepee painting or painting on a parfleche or a hide painting. This is an extension of that tradition. It's just contemporized because it's with aerosol instead of earth pigments.
We're writing words that mean something in Lakota. In this day and age, anybody, some kid that might be curious, would just pick up his phone, type it in, and be like, oh, mom, that says welcome, or whatever the name of that building is because of the last name of the Native Americans that reside here because of this family or this one person that stood out in history. Now they know that, and it's all connected to RedCan, Lakota culture, and just the sake of art, you know, just making art.
RedCan is very transformative. When we say it transforms the community, sometimes we can leave the statement right there. It transforms the community. But the community has strata, has elements. We transform the landscape. We're putting up murals.
A lot of the murals that have been created in past years are still present. We're creating an expressive cultural landscape here.
We're bringing value to the community. We're making people look at something as valuable that maybe 6 years ago, 10 years ago was not held in that regard.
It's the stories, history, words, language, these kind of cornerstones of culture, and they get infused into these murals. There's also that mentorship side of it too, where we get a younger person that comes to assist, and you just have that older person kind of passing down knowledge. What I think of the times I spent with my mother and grandmother is just sitting by their side, looking at them doing their respective art forms. And there's a similar kind of vibe that happens here. That's priceless.
Doing something with your life, doing something, whether it be just painting or drawing, something small can help take your mind into a different space where you're able to distance yourself from that issue that's bothering them. That can be just enough space for love to step in, just enough space for another thought to come in, just enough of a gap of that thought of suicide and the thought of life. And that little pause, that little second, that breath is all it takes.
And I believe art heals. I believe art transforms. And if this is the vehicle for that one person to say, I'm going to get this monkey off my back, then that is yet another instance of transformation that RedCan brings about.
In the end, Cheyenne River Youth Project and RedCan, they're all about youth development. Like, we do this work for kids. I mean, it's art and it's so many things, and the artists feel great, but in the end, we're doing this for kids.
Maybe they're asking questions of their parents or their elders as to what does that say or what does that mean, whereas before it would have just been a blank wall and an opportunity would have been missed.
It's a different kind of program, and it's a different approach to youth programming, but the thing about CRYP is that we're innovative and we're creative and we're risk takers. But it felt right and we did it, and in year 5 we got to see the full-on dream realized, and that makes me feel so good.
Looks like you guys are going to go live pretty soon here. The video's ending.
Are we live? Live? Okay. All right. Just got the thumbs up. Sorry, everybody. Welcome. My name is Brian Parker. I'm the program manager for the Rolling Res Arts, which is a program of First Peoples Fund. First Peoples Fund is a nonprofit Native arts organization. We're based in Rapid City, South Dakota. The Rolling Res Arts program is a pretty unique program in that it is a 32-foot retrofitted shuttle bus that has the capabilities of taking art to the people. That's pretty much what we do. We take art to the people on the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation communities, as well as the surrounding communities here in the Rapid City, Pine Ridge area. The bus is a mobile arts classroom, state-of-the-art mobile arts classroom, a mobile bank, and a business training center. Please log on to firstpeoplesfund.org to find out more about our programs, upcoming events, and other good-to-know resources. Right now, I'm going to hand it over to a special guest artist here. I'll let him introduce himself, but he has been participating with the Rolling Res Arts program for a few years now. He's also a First Peoples Fund fellow and great guy and amazing artist. So I will hand it over to him, and I'm so glad we have this opportunity to continue RedCan and be a part of it, especially during this time. I think we all just need to be inspired and celebrate art and our people. All right, thank you.
Thanks, Brian. Hello, everybody. My name is Wade Patton. I'm of Oglala, Lakota. I was born and raised on the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation. I graduated from Black Hills State University in Spearfish with a Bachelor of Fine Arts. I had my first art show when I was in college at the Sioux Indian Museum. So that just kind of inspired me to keep on going with what I liked to pursue, my art career. And just give us a second here. Okay, sorry about that. We had a little extra noise going on. But so anyway, I moved back to the area about 6 years ago, and I continued with the art. Is that muted? Yeah. Okay. Just give us a second here. Muted. Are we good?
Sure.
Okay. I hear a little bit of an echo going on. We're just trying to figure out. Should I mute this? No, I'll shut the phone off. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna continue on. So I've been back in the area now for about 6 years, and I've been doing art full time. I've been working with RedCan actually this will be my 3rd year. Me and Brian has done it for the last 3 years, and it's always a good time to go up there and visit with the other artists, see all the art that's being made. And for those of you in the classroom today, you probably, I've probably worked with you before, but I can't see you right now. But anyway, so yeah, welcome to RedCan Virtual 2020. I'm going to demonstrate some easy oil pastel techniques, and then hopefully we'll be able to just go ahead. Anyway. Of oil pastels, but here's one that I did.
Is it muted? Okay, mute it. Unmute it.
Element to your artwork. And here's another one that a picture that I've done, that I did take a picture of, and I make little note cards out of them. So when people buy original artworks from me, I send a note card to them. And this was a piece that I did that was a lot bigger. And again, I photographed it, printed it on metallic paper. And just another sample of my work I'm going to show you. Again, teepees and stars, what I'm known for with my oil pastel work. And again, this is just a photograph of an original piece of work that I did. I use a lot. I'm inspired by, the natural elements in our environment. The skies, the sun, the land, and of course, the teepees as well. And then you can see the stars. I put in the stars there. So yeah, that's just some samples of my work. What I'm gonna do now is introduce you guys to, the style of, the type of paper, the type of oil pastels, and I think maybe Tyler and them, they have them up there for you. But anyway, so I essentially start on a heavy-duty paper, and they're usually a watercolor paper like this. You can find this, at your local store, art supply store, Hobby Lobby, Michael's. And it comes in usually in a pack of 12 pieces of paper, so you can, get a lot of uses out of one tablet. You necessarily don't have to use the whole page. You can always cut the pages, make them smaller. And I do that sometimes to make smaller pieces. But anyway, yeah, you want to use a watercolor paper. The reason with the watercolor paper cold press is that it does have some texture. You can kind of hear it. And you want the texture because it'll help you manipulate your oil pastel a little bit better. So I prefer watercolor paper. If you get a slick paper, your watercolor, your oil pastels aren't gonna adhere to the paper, and you'll just end up mixing a mess instead of opposed to, having it stick to the paper. So what I did is I went ahead and cut a paper in half, and I'm working on a small desk area here. So I'm gonna take one of the pieces of paper, and then you want some tape. You can use some painter's tape or just any kind of tape. And then I prefer a masking tape. And I'll show you, you'll see why in a little bit. So what we're gonna do is you wanna tape your paper down. You wanna, try to get the best version for you here. Yeah, so that'll work. So you want to tape it down, and you'll want to come in like maybe like a 3/4 of an inch to a 1/2 inch, and you'll see why that's important. And after we're done with this, so go ahead and tape all the way around your paper. You're making like a little tape frame, if you will. And I like packaging tape because it adheres to the paper really well, but it doesn't tear the paper. And I prefer the, I believe this is 1.5 inches. Yeah, actually 2 inches, a 2-inch packaging tape. And I think it's a standard size of what they come in. So you want to just go ahead and continue taping all 4 sides. And you can just tape over this, this perforated side right here. So you can kind of see there's, we have a nice little workspace for us. So what I normally do is I kind of work like 4 or 5 colors. So I kind of go through and, pick those first. But this is some oil pastels. This is how they start out. They're like this. They have the little sticks. And you can see how when they're with other colors that they get, other colors on there. And you'll want to have some paper towel just to wipe those off. You'll want to start off with a clean color. So yeah, this is how they start off. I kind of like to look at them once in a while and admire them because they're nice and pretty right now, if you will. But that's how they start off. And this is kind of how they end up. They're all broken. And I had the spots probably for like 15 years. I put stickers on it. But you can always, always throw them in here, and then once I'll get one from here, I can always clean it up with a paper towel again. So you just want to make sure you start off with a clean, color. And they also have these nice box sets that we can use. Normally, like these colors, you buy it individually, the single sticks. But with these, they already come with, all the colors. And these are okay for like starter kits, for you to get familiar with how an oil pastel works. Yeah, so these are good. And again, you can find these at any art supply store. So like this, I think was around $9. But when you buy the individual sticks like these, it's like they can run up to $3 per stick. But that's just when you get to use the pastels and you know how they work instead of all investing your money in just these. So it's good to start off with the starter kits. And they're usually on sale too, these starter kits. So, yeah. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and pick out 4 colors I want to work with. And for you guys participating up in at RedCan, you know, you might want to pick out 4 colors as well. So I'm gonna do this nice blue here. And if you're using old pastels, just go ahead and wipe them down with a paper towel. And you'll want to use a paper towel. Keep paper towels around anyway, because your fingers are going to get really dirty, and you need to, you know, wipe them off before you start. And I basically kind of just call this like finger painting, you know, because you're going to do all the blending and the mixing with your fingers. And they do have mixing tools and stuff that you can buy. But I just kind of like to feel, you know, the burn a little bit that the oil pastels give you. You know, I just started working on one this past week, and I haven't worked on oil pastels for a while. And I ended up getting blisters. But, you know, they're just blisters. It's okay, you know, again, you know, working your finger to the bone, I guess. But, so yeah, I'm just going to pick out 4 colors. I'm going to make sure they're clean. See, I'm cleaning them off. I always like to start off with new, but sometimes I always, you know, pick out, you know, highlights. When I want to use highlights, I'll just pick out, you know, a smaller one, you know, like that or something. But I think I'll use these 3. And I also kind of like this color here. And the general rule is that you kind of want to, you know, work light to dark. You know, that's kind of how they taught us in art school. I mean, there's really no rules, but, you know, they teach you the basics. And I feel like anytime you know, like artists, you know, you can just create your own art. You know, there's no right or wrong. So anyway, so what I'm going to do is we're going to kind of do something similar to this. You know, I'll lay down the color and then I'll mix it just to show you the mixing. But I'll probably use something a little bit, I'll probably incorporate like some sort of representation of the sun. You know, since it is summer, it is hot. It's really hot here today. But so yeah, I'll just start off. You can use the top of the oil pastel. I'm just gonna start off like this. And something you want to do with these colors, it's always best to lay down your color first. Like, we're gonna fill up the whole paper with color, and then we're gonna do some blending. And again, we're just gonna use our finger when we blend. You know, the side of your finger. So, you know, it's best to like try and cover up most of the paper. You can go ahead and leave some of the texture of the paper coming through. I'm gonna do something like a spiral here. I'm gonna radiate it out. I have a little crack in this table. You kind of want to work on a clean, flat surface, because when you're doing this part, you know, you're going to pick up whatever is, you know, underneath. So make sure you have a nice, smooth area you're going to work on. Me and Brian always love, like, going up to RedCan, you know, just to see everybody and talk about and see art and see how these amazing graffiti artists come together in a few days and create this work for you guys to look at for the rest of the year. And I think that's really awesome. You know, times have changed, so we're trying to, we're making it work this way, but we still, still really like that art part of the whole thing, and especially riding up there in our bus, First People's Fun bus. That's always a good time. So then I'm going to take my second color, kind of go around this. I'm going to do a blue. And there's really no right or wrong or right way to do this. It's just kind of whatever you feel like, how you want to express, your vision, and working with the Cheyenne River Youth Project up there. There's a lot of young talent up there. I was so impressed. Anytime we left, we would talk about how the kids there were like sponges. They really respected us. They looked up to us, and they were learning a new art form, and it was really nice and humbling to teach art. And some of the kids, I worked with them for like 3 years in a row, and they graduated high school, and and then times changed. Now this all happened to us, but this is something that we can always keep busy with. So it was nice to knowing, keep teaching everybody a new technique, and something that they can do, when they're sitting around, looking for something to do. They have that option of, picking up, something they learned at Cheyenne River Youth Project. So that's very cool. And, like I said, some amazing talent up that way. And, to see the progression of some of them. And I can't remember their names, but I remember the kind of art they did. And, what really moved me was not only their art, but their personality. So it was really, again, it was really awesome to be up there. So after you lay down a whole bunch, some colors like this, like I did, this is our blending tool. This is how we're going to blend it all together to get something smooth like this, like in my background. And the direction of ever how you're going to blend the art, you can blend it up and down, you can go in a circle, you can radiate out. This one, I think I'm going to radiate out. So I'm going to use my finger. You can just kind of see. So see how you're mixing. It all mixes together. And see, this is what I'm talking about. Your finger, has, the darkest color here. And so if I took this and did what I just did, it's not going to be consistent. So always keep a paper towel around. You'll want to, wipe your finger off every time you. And then you'll switch finger. So you can kind of see how it's blending. And I'm just going to go like this, just to show you a little faster. See how the darker colors coming in the middle? And sometimes I always go in with a vision And, you know, I have to let, you know, after I have something going on in my head, there's a vision there, but I always kind of change it, you know, just to see how a certain color will blend, and things like that. So I always surprise myself when I go into these oil pastels. And so the reason with the tape is that you can take it. First of all, when I do pastels, I'm normally standing up. You know, I'll tape my paper to a board, a door, a wall. Don't do it on a white wall. You'll mess up your white wall. So just make sure, you know, like you tape it to something that, you know, that it's already messed up already, you know. So I always find like in my studio, I already use I use an old door that I found. So I just lean that against the wall and take my paper to the oil pastel and the paper, and then start doing the magic. So this is what happens. This is why this tape is good. You can lift it up. Always makes that sound. So then you can move in a different direction. You know, it's good to tape it down, you know, really adhere it to the table first when you first start, but you don't have to, you know, press down as hard, secure it as much, to, you know, once you move it, just to do some work. So see how I'm just moving my finger and go back over the areas that have the white paper, so you can see the paper. I always do a background first, or undercoat of color first. So I'm just going to continue all the way around, moving my paper again. See, right now I just kind of, you know, in the process of this, you know, I like this color here. You know, it's taken on a, you know, of course, a teepee formation. So I think I'm just going to leave that right now. And you can kind of just blend it a little bit more with your fingers. So with the little sun here, I don't want to get any color into that, but the yellow. So I'm using a new finger. I'm gonna go a different direction. So you get the idea. You can just soften it using your finger. So you can kind of see what I'm working with right now. So you can see the white coming through, you know, since I didn't blend it. Like I said, I kind of like that. You know, and this is, you know, the sun shape, you know, the rays spiraling out, if you will. So now I'm going to work on this shape, and I'm going to add another color here. And I'm going to add probably a brown, nice brown here. Or maybe red, like a red. complementary color of green is red. So that's always good to know is your color wheel. You know, all the colors and how they work together or not together. So I'm thumbing through all my shards and my broke up ones here. I'm still gonna use a brown, maybe brown and red. So I had a little flake that flew on this. It was something. Let me see. This is just something to keep your eye out for, like let's say like this. Fell on it. Blow it off. Don't rub it, or you're gonna be. When you rub it, that color's gonna stick to your your oil pastel, your brown work. And you're gonna have to make that into something because it's really hard to, remove that. If you're not as experienced. And there's these little tools too. You can probably use a toothpick, but these are wooden skewers that I found in the grocery store. Then you can just pick them up. This is like a pencil. Or it's a pencil or picker upper thing. They're really, I found these really work well for oil pastels. And when I first started out, I was using toothpicks, but my hands are pretty big, and so I was food shopping one day and I came across these things. And they're amazing. And what you can do with these, if the hand goes dull, you can just sharpen it with a knife or something. And I just think this is kind of, I don't know, I just like the way these feel. It reminds me of how maybe they painted in the past, how, to mark things and stuff, they use twigs, and they sharpen their twigs, things like that. So, our people were geniuses. So I'm gonna do a TP formation just to show you that color, and then I'm just gonna go over this. So I filled it in. I want to add a little red, I think, just for a little bit of interest. And this is what I have working so far. So then I'm going to take my finger again, make sure it's clean because it's kind of, it's kind of dirty right now, if you can see. Yeah, right there. So always have a roll of paper towels because they end up looking like this. And once they're like this, you're just going to make sure you use clean ones. Then I'm gonna have my finger. I'm gonna blend it again. Use your pinky if you have to. So I have that going on so far. And now I'm going to do some detail work. And I don't know if you guys up there have any toothpicks, but It's kind of something that I can show you if you don't have, or you can use a pencil, which is nice. A pencil is kind of cool too, because what it does is it adds another color for you. The graphite on oil pastels, they kind of have like a metallic look, so they're really cool. So what I'm going to do is make my teepee poles. If you're going to do any fine lines, you want to make sure that you have a clean edge. And what you can do, have a clean edge, is break the oil pastels. So you have a nice sharp edge. And so that's why I have a lot of breakups in here. It's probably a lot of these were for TV poles. But and you just take the edge, kind of smush it down, just press it so you don't get any flakes. I'm telling you these tips and stuff, but you'll probably trial and error. You'll find it out that I should have did that, but you'll get the hang of it. And then I like to exaggerate my TP poles. What I'll do is just I can move my paper with the tape, go another direction, and then use another sharp side of the oil pastel. And this year, it seems like I've been doing 5 TP poles. Last year, I think I did 7. Just depends. And, it's always nice to change things up. So now with this, the wooden skewer or your toothpick or pencil, I'm going to make some highlights, just to add another dimension, a little bit of a different element to, your flat surface. So I usually outline things with the oil pastel. So for the TP poles, I just try to do a straight line. Then wipe it off. Do another one. You'll get these little clumps of oil pastel at the end. So you just wipe it off. And I'm still gonna, it's nice to see, you can move it around. I'm gonna outline the teepee. I'm gonna take another paper towel and just lay it on here. I wouldn't use a paper towel, but that's all I have right now because the paper towel has fuzz and the fuzz would adhere to the oil pastel. So it'd be nice to have a piece of paper. So I'm gonna outline my teepee. Okay. And again, you can pick up clumps of leftover oil pastel on your art with the skewer. Okay. So we have this looking so far. Looking pretty good. Excellent. So now I usually, sometimes I put an opening in on the teepee, sometimes not. Normally, if I usually do one, I'll have a tendency to put an opening on, but I do like more than 3 or 4 or 5. I alternate them, change them up a little bit for some interest. And for my openings, I just go along with the triangle formation of a TV. Now you see we have an opening, or the markings of the opening. And you can take your wooden skewer or your toothpick, or sometimes like a blade works, but the blades are kind of tricky because you might rip your paper. So now it's like a scratch board. I don't know if you guys are familiar with scratch boards, but you're just kind of taking away the surface to allow another dimension to your work. So scratch it away with the oil pastel. So I have that. So see how I scratched away? And there's some residue left over from the brown. So I'll just try to get most of it off of there and go a different direction, scratch it away. And once I scratch away the oil pastel, I'll kind of blend it a little bit so you don't see the marks of your wooden tool. What you can do, maybe add a little white in there, just to give it a highlight, nothing serious. I want to blend that again with my finger. Again, I do have blending tools. I didn't bring anything with me to space it off, but so that's when I have that. See how I have the opening of the TV? I'll go in again with my tool and do a nice line. And then what I normally do too is create, this is just a representational of a TV, it doesn't have to, have, you can have the similar shapes and marks, of a TV. It's ever how you want to interpret it. And this is how I interpret mine. And then I'll do like 3, the opening, the flap in the front. I'll do 3 lines to represent that. So, we have that going. And then sometimes, I'm known for stars, on my oil, with my oil pastels. I'll put them in the sky, or I'll put them on the teepee. And this is what this tool is used for. It's good for. In this season as well, it's all about the numbering, The 9, I use 9. I've been using 9 for the 9 districts in Lakota County. 7 for the Lakota Virtues. 7 for the Sisters. So that's what I've been doing. So this one's gonna have 7. to represent the district in Oglala, Dakota County. Or 9, excuse me. And I also, this year I did the Bush Foundation commissioned me to draw on a piece of ledger, and they wanted, the 23 nations represented on my ledger work. So I did 23 of their, teepees or earth mounds. And usually, a lot of them's odd numbers. So, design works best in odd numbers. So we're told. So that's kind of how I came up with this this particular demonstration. I'm going to show you, their way of, laying down color and a different way of blending. But anyway, with the tape, this is where, I think this part it's kind of cool. So the tape will just come off and it leaves a nice, clean border for you. And just pull it gently. I kind of got in a hurry there and ripped a little bit of the oil pastel away from the paper, but that's no big deal. So then just toss your tape. And so we have this. We have a nice clean edge around the design. And this is something too, we're encouraging, people to think about, entering art shows or framing their own artwork. But this is a good way of coming over your image with a mat. And for those of you, who know what a mat board is, it's a piece of board that you cut a window out of and you lay on top of over the art. And the reason for the mat board, because it kind of serves as an art protector. Because when you send your stuff off to shows and stuff, they'll want it framed. So that just gives a buffer so the glass isn't laying on your artwork. Or another version that I like to do is this is still rule. And what I'm going to do is decal the edge. You just take it against there. And it's good to have at least an inch. So it gives you enough paper to pull and tear. Then when you're tearing the paper, along your tear, just move your hand down because this will move and then you're going to tear into your artwork. So just remember that. And another thing to do is you're going to get oil pastel on your ruler. So just wipe it off every time you do a tear. Then move to the next corner. And that little hiccup that I had right here, I'm going to fix that. I'm just going to tear it off. Just eyeball it, tear it, start tearing. You're going to be like, what blemish? See, it's not there. So then again, wipe your steel rule. Because these oil pastels that get everywhere, I prefer them more so than the chalk. Because the chalk, that seems to fly everywhere. And I just learned from oil pastels, and I just like the way they adhere to your piece of paper. Without, you don't get it everywhere. And you'll get the little shavings will fall on the floor and stuff, but, vacuum easily, you can vacuum those up. If you're standing, when you're working. So then I'm going to wipe that off. And then you're going to do another one. And this is the finished project with this. Okay. So I have this going on. And this is just, again, a brief introduction to an oil pastel. Like this. You know, you can take a photograph of it, and you'll get this. And then you can mat these and, you know, give them out as gifts. You know, you can take a picture with your phone, get them downloaded, send them. So, you know, it's a different way of expressing yourself with only making one original. And so this would be an original piece of art. So what I'm going to do is kind of wrap it up here. Appreciate you guys, you know, coming in and watching the demonstration. I know it's all kind of interesting for us to you know, learn this way, but you know, we got to keep going. You know, we got to keep moving forward. You know, we're all struggling a little bit with this way, but you know, I think we just gotta keep moving forward. Another thing too, real quick, they have these little templates you can buy, and again, I found the star, so I'm like, oh my god, I gotta have it. But so, you know, you can take the star and make sure you have it clean, and then I can color it in with a pencil, you know, or something. So what I'm going to do for all the participants that are there at Cheyenne River Youth Project, I'll get a hold of Tyler, and he's going to put your name into a box, and whoever name he draws, they will get this print. They will get this original copy by me. I'll sign it for you. So Tyler will, again, get your names. We'll draw it, and I'll send this up your way. So again, thank you for coming to RedCan this year. Hopefully next year we can all see each other and, you know, tell stories and have that conversation that we're all kind of missing right now amongst us artists. So again, my name is Wade Patton. I'm a Bilal Lakota, and yeah, thanks again.
Hello, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that demonstration from artist Wade Patton. Thanks again for tuning in today. Be sure to check with us tomorrow. The Roll Res will be demonstrating again with guest artist Michael Tuples. We'll be doing printmaking, photo transfer class, so that'll be really cool. You're not going to want to miss that because it's a pretty easy technique to use at home while we're all home right now, and it requires minimal resources. So anyway, thanks again for tuning in, and take care of one another and be safe out there.
It takes time to build up a community. It takes time to build up your art form. It takes time to transform things. I just want to thank everybody from the Cheyenne River Youth Project for inviting me out here, allowing me to participate. I'm honored that they would even consider me. I hope the artwork that we leave behind does inspire somebody.
To learn more about the Cheyenne River Youth Project or the RedCan Graffiti Jam, please visit our website, www.lakotayouth.org.
Oh,